the big danger of the ease of running bad surveys is that they lead to bad decisions. And the whole idea about gathering information, the whole point you're doing it is to get good information. And the thing is, a lot of businesses run useless surveys. We see these all the time. And I actually swapped out an example of a bad survey because I ran into one yesterday when I was trying to do something on a government website. I was trying to deal with some information that was pretty critical to me, and I had a lot of trouble with the website. And the Social Security Administration popped up this very, very typical customer satisfaction survey where they asked me a lot of questions that had nothing to do with my true experience using the site. You know, they asked me to rate how well I understood the wording. They asked me about how short the sentences were, my options for navigating. All of these things were totally irrelevant. The variety of features, I wouldn't even know like what a good variety is. And I'm somebody who thinks about, you know, the features for websites and products and services all the time. So they just asked all of these questions that made me think that they just did not know what to ask. You know, convenient placement, comparing to my ideal. And so you have to think, like, if they got a lot of sixes about how this site compared to an ideal website, what decision could you make based on that? And my favorite question for surveys of this nature that I've seen quite a lot is how to rate the number of clicks to get where you want. That is a question that requires such a high level of abstraction for people to think like, what is a good number of clicks? Nobody thinks about that. People think about getting what they need. And this question is also incredibly flawed because usually a small number of clicks is associated with a good outcome. You want a few number of clicks. And what you probably end up with is people giving this a low rating by answering it really quickly. And rather than, you know, saying, oh, it was a short number of clicks, I found what I needed. So the problems with a survey like this are that these questions are actually impossible for anybody to answer. They're unanswerable questions because no human being really thinks about evaluating designs or any sort of service at that abstract level on a 10-point scale. And there were just too many questions because somebody might have a problem with a very specific issue, as I did, that was in no way captured by this long generic list. And, you know, the same questions are presented to all users regardless of what feature they're using or what they're trying to do or what kind of user they were on this site. It's just a real scattershot, huge set of things. The answers to which don't even give you a really clear path from, you know, results to action. And that's what you want. That's why you bother asking people questions at all. So you can then move from, oh, this is what we found out, to this is what we need to change. Or this is how we can better understand our customers so we can create new products and services or remove barriers or find a way to get more of what we need, the value we need in terms of attention or money out of the people that we're presenting this experience to. You know, surveys like this are very, very common. You know, of course, the recommendation question, a very sort of general satisfaction score, and you know, and just a generic rating. And so this is an opportunity. Anytime you present questions to somebody, you are asking for some of their time, and you're asking them to make an investment of their time and intellect in the future success of your product. So, so you should really think very carefully, if you have somebody's attention, how you can get the most value out of that survey process. Just a couple others that were kind of funny. Instagram was asking me my opinion of Pillsbury canned dough. I buy it about once a year to make little pigs in blankets. So I guess it's great, but I don't know what they're going to do with this information. It's such a general answer that has nothing to do with Instagram. And of course, there have been some political surveys going around lately that don't even offer the option to provide a truly representative answer. If you really think, oh, what I want to say how you're doing is bad, that isn't even an answer presented. I ran a little poll where I completely biased the answers by asking about what kind of potatoes were a side dish, but I used the term tater, which is a really stupid example, but this can really be a little demonstration that the wording you use in your questions really, really matters. Because if you say tater, you are totally priming people for tots. And this is such a silly example, but it really shows how little subtle things that you can do purposefully, or just because that's the way you think about it and not how your customer thinks about it, and just end up with completely skewed results that you're then trying to make important business decisions based on. This is clearly they're giving, do you love using TripIt? They want people to, say yes, I guess, but that's just so general. What are they going to do with it, with an answer that's just at that really, really generic level that might make them feel good, but doesn't actually help anybody make a good business decision? One of the most popular questions, of course, is asking people to predict their behavior. This would be a great thing if you could actually know this. How likely is somebody to make a purchase from a competitor? Nobody knows this themselves. This is an impossible question to answer. And the thing about the tools for setting up surveys is that they're so easy to use that that you could ask a question if you want to ask a question just to make yourself feel good. But remember, you're using your business's time and attention and resources and that of your customers. So you want to get the most useful data possible.